Welcome to the weekly tasting video of our new coffee release at Blending Room, which today is Masenga Hill. This is a washed Red Bourbon from Burundi and was brought into the UK by Omwani coffee importers based in New York. If you're new here, my name is James. I'm the owner of a coffee roastery based in Hull, East Yorkshire, and every week I stand here in the internet telling you about the new coffee that we bring to market. As usual, I'll describe how the coffee's been roasted, how it tastes, and how I think you should brew it. So let's talk about how I roasted it. As usual, I did 3 batches on our Loring S15 Falcon, and the starting weight for each of those batches was 12 kilos, which represents 80% of the load mass. I think that this is the best balance between output and fidelity of roast. This is an African coffee, a high altitude Red Bourbon, and it's a washed coffee. So the idea with this was to allow the coffee enough time within the roasting environment in order for all of the beautiful chemistries to happen. So my target total roast time was 10.5 minutes. And as you can see on the 3 roast profiles now, what I did was match pretty close those 10.5 minutes. I also wanted to, where possible, retain as much of the fruit composition, so the post-first crack development time was kept relatively short for me at 1:25 to 1:30 seconds. That way, I can preserve the fruit characteristics whilst also retaining some degree of balance in the cup and presenting the coffee in what we would describe as an omni roast. So that is a roast that would be suitable for many applications of brewing rather than specifically for one versus another. You may find that other coffee roasters in the UK and world will split their roast profiles into filter-based or espresso-based roasting. I prefer, however, to try and maximize the flavor composition of the coffee and present that in what I would describe as an omni style. It's then up to you as the brewers to discern whether you would prefer to brew it as an espresso beverage or something like a filter or cafetiere. So, what you'll note with the roast profiles is that 10.5 minutes in total length, where I feel I got good development of the cell structure, making sure that the coffee is as soluble as possible, and I feel like I got a good degree of balance in the overall cup profile. So what is the cup profile? Let's dig in to the aroma and the flavor. So what I'm going to do for the aroma is dig my nose into the coffee and see whether I can pick out any of those beautiful sort of smells and lovely things that coffee presents to you. So on the nose, there's a pronounced dark chocolate characteristic, and that's also supported by this treacly, caramelly nose as well, which I hope transfers into the cup. So let's have a taste. Which it absolutely does. Now, when I'm tasting this, you'll note that I'm drinking this black, hence this clear vessel. I'm also, as I'm drinking, just slurping and swirling the coffee around on my palate. I'm trying to introduce oxygen, introduce air, just to get all of those sort of volatile chemical compounds excited around my palate so that you can perceive as many of the flavors as possible. And what you'll note with this coffee is, first of all, you get this little pop of acidity, which is a mix between red berries, so I'm thinking red currant, that type of thing, but also lots and lots of juicy stone fruit. So imagine a ripe Victoria plum, beautiful at this time of year and right in season. So that then has this sticky, sweet caramel and a wonderful dark chocolate on the finish. It's very, very well balanced between acidity and sweetness and a finish too. It's a light body. Many African coffees are. Red Bourbons tend to be that way, erring on the slightly stickier side. But yeah, light body, and that then will let us know where this coffee will be suited. Talking about suited, let's discuss how to brew it. So we've got red berries, we've got stone fruits, we've got caramels and dark chocolates, and it's presented in a light-bodied way. So I think that this would be really well suited to full immersion brews like cafetiere. You're going to get all of that sweetness personified by the way that the brew apparatus presents its flavor. So a slightly lower acidity and lots of body. I think this would really support that. This brew itself is a filter brew. I've done this as a batch brew on my Mocha Master, my Technivorm Mocha Master, which is my preferred method of brewing, and it's beautiful. There's lots of clarity in it, as one would expect, and this is probably where I would sit with the coffee. So how about espresso? Well, there's enough acidity in this that will add a nice brightness to the cup, but there's not too much that it would present it as sour. I've also roasted the coffee in a way that should be able to allow balance within the cup, so it won't be too bright. So yeah, espresso should work for this as well. What a delightful cup. Now let's summarize the coffee again. It's a washed Red Bourbon from Burundi. It's called Masenga Hill. It's brought into the UK by our good friends over at Omwani, coffee importers based in York. The flavor profiles are stone fruits, caramels, and dark chocolates. There's a little tickle of red fruit in there as well. You could say some spiced apple. It is sticky, it's sweet, it's a light body, would be very well suited for full immersion brewing. This, as I've drunk it today, is a filter brew and it's delightful. And I do believe that it would work well as espresso too. And there you have it. Masenga Hill from us over here at Blending Room. I hope you enjoy the coffee if you choose to purchase a bag, and have a great week.